Yo, what's going on? We got a little pop up show this good evening on the eye test. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Man, I had to come on. Had to come on. Had to come on because there's been too much misconception and a skewed perception about the inception. If y'all can pick up what I'm putting down. Misconception. We got a horrible GM and this, that, and the third. Now, per session, it's pretty much the same. Inception is the new beginning. Now, we had a I had a conversation earlier, and in this conversation, we're sitting there talking about, the moves that were happening, what was going on, and how it looked, da 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 da. And I was like, well, that's the perception. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand in itself, things are going to look different than what we're used to looking at and what we used to seeing, especially in the off season anyway, because we never had a consistent winning team. Like we've always had a consistent good team. We've always had well, I'm not gonna say we always had. There were points where we had a team that was, I would say, could have won the Super Bowl. Yeah, most of them. But a consistent contender, that's been far and few in between. Like that's just it's different. It's different because the fact of the matter is this, right? What we've had, especially GM wise, they never actually tried to build a team. They built the top end of a roster. The Atlanta Falcons have been notoriously known for having top heavy teams, right? Now, if you go look at an actual contender, a consistent contender, they have high end talent that starters, and they have depth where there's not much of a fall off if one of these starters is out of the picture, right? Now, be honest with yourself, as a Falcon fan, when was the last time you could sit there and say that we had both? Nick Horizon, what's going on? Well, like, be honest. When was the last time, as a Falcon fan, you could sit there and say that, hey, we had we had high end talent. Nick Horizon. Hey man, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like one ethnicity, ethnicity, or race or color or whatever more than another. I see everybody the same way. I see everybody the same way. Color, background, none of that changed my opinion about a person. It's the person. It's the person that makes them. Now, so like I was saying the same, like there's been so few times that we had it all. Yeah, I know it's a religion. Like your religious belief has no bearing upon me. I don't care what your religion is. If that makes you happy, it is what it is. That has no bearing upon me because that doesn't change my day from today to the tomorrow. That doesn't change my day. You see what I'm saying? Like the I'm hell, I'll put it out there now. The world is so fucked up because everybody's so worried about what the next person is doing. That's no way to live. I can't be focused on what I'm trying to do, and I'm worried about what Johnny Two Shoes doing 5 houses down. Whatever he do, that's what he do. If that make him happy, I love it for him. As long as you not on some crazy ass shit, like you ready to go fuck the neighborhood up or whatever. I don't care what you do. If you're a Muslim, assalamu alaikum. You're a Jew, you know what I'm saying? Like you're a Christian, you're a Baptist, you whatever, whatever. That doesn't change my outlook of the person because the person is what matter. Your religious belief or your ethnicity or your race or your you know what I'm saying? Like none of that. Like yeah, it has burns on the type of person that you are. Well, it has burn over your beliefs as a person, but that doesn't rule who you are. Who you are is who you are. Who you decide to be is who you decide to be. See what I'm saying? That's literally sitting there. I'm judging you before I. That's like me sitting there saying I'm gonna read a book and I don't want to read the book because the cover art isn't appealing to me. That's crazy because you don't even know the words of the story. That doesn't even make sense. You don't know the words of the story, so you can't sit there and give an honest perception on whether you like the story or you don't because you never read it. But like me, like I don't care if you black, white, purple, pink, yellow, orange, green, whatever shade of the color spectrum you are who you are. Now who you are as a person. That's what matters to me. You know what I'm saying? Like religion, all that, like that's cool. I'm like I wasn't in your household when you was coming up. I wasn't around when your parents had their religion that they followed and they influenced you upon the religion. I wasn't there if you decided to go to another religion. I wasn't around for that. All I know is the person that I be able to talk to. Like, what do you like? You like basketball? You like football? You like the Falcon? Like, what's your favorite food? That when I know those things, those type of things, that's how I can decide whether I rock with you as a person or not. Your religion or your ethnic background or whatever, that shit has no bearing on me. Kevin Roger, what's going on? Yeah. So, uh, so, so when I was having this conversation earlier and stuff, talking about perception and inception or whatever, and we was talking about, what I'm saying, how things look different, um, with how this front office is moving. And I told him, I was like, this is normally what winning franchise do because the way they're doing it is we're gonna get out whatever you can get out of this year. Cool. But the main goal is to set ourselves up for future years. And if you actually be honest with yourself, The last couple of GM, they won't sitting there thinking like that. Dimitrov won't think like that. Fondo wasn't thinking like that. They both are more on some. Well, we have this. Let me go get the complementary pieces to push us over the hill or on top of the mountaintop this year. They wasn't sitting there thinking how if I pick up this person in free agency, how did that affect me down the road? Or if I give this contract, how did that affect me down the road? None of that, right? Now, I'm gonna give y'all some math real quick so it help illustrate what's going on. All right. So you have Alameda. Well, you got Alameda Zakir, which was a 1 year contract. Got Austin Hooper 1 year contract. Jake Bailey, punter, signed a 3 year contract. All right. Lakel Leonard, we brought him back 1 year contract. Deshaun Hand, 1 year contract. Tyler Goodson, 1 year contract. Christian Harris, Cameron Thomas, 1 year contracts. All right. Um, let me give y'all a little bit more math on it. I'm gonna go to Spoke Track. All right. Spoke Track. Spoke Track has us um, Jake Bailey, 3 years, $9 million. All right. Nick Foles, 2 years, $9 million. Llamas the kids, 2 years, 4.5 million. Austin Hooper, 1 year, 3.25 million. Cam Thomas, 1 year, 3 mil. Sean Hand, 1 year, 3 mil. Samson Ibukam, Ebicam, 1 year, 2.76. Christian Harris, 1 year, 2.75. Kel London, 1 year, 2.75. Chris Williams, 1 year, two. Corey Levin, 1 year, 1.48. Aziz Ojolari, 1 year, 1.4. Tua at 1.2. Channing Tindall, 1.2. And D'Angelo Malone, Brian Robinson, well, Tyler Goodson haven't signed yet. And Donnie Home. Well, their contracts haven't came out yet. All right. Now I say that to say this. Out of those players, out of those players that I just listed, majority of them are on 1 year contracts. All right. With a 1 year contract, if they leave next off season to go get actual money, get a legitimate contract, we are in line to get a comp pick for them. That's why I say the beauty of what Ian is doing is lost on a lot of people. Now I saw a report. There was three anonymous GMs that came out. They said that they couldn't understand why Ian would do what he did and this, that, and the third. Shit was dumb as hell. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read it to you. I'm gonna read you exactly what they said and said. Hold on, hold on. Here we go. Am I? All right. So one GM said, "There's nothing about what they have done that I can say that makes sense." That's one GM. Another one says, "For the price, you can't hate on that, but overall, it seems like they swap out guys for guys. They have some talent, but they are not in a win now mode. They are not in tank mode either. They seem very net neutral." And then another one, the third one said, "You give the 41-year-old kicker Nick Foles 2 years for 9 million, 4 million guaranteed. Jake Bailey, a punter, gets 3 years, 9 million, 5 million guaranteed. Austin Hooper's 31. Tua, I can see that. They need to do something. Christian Harris is young enough as a linebacker to have some upside, but that is not a good class. That's a grab bag of we don't know what we're doing. Why are you doing these deals? If you're going to pay these guys, why wouldn't you pay to keep Caden Elliott? He is 30 years old, but a good player coming off of one of his best years. Played like 100% of the snap when he played 99.9%. Can play multiple spots, can rush, play off the ball. It's crazy. Now, like I said, now this sort of fault, especially like the last thing that the GM said, the last GM said, it falls in line with what I was sitting there saying about Jesse Bates. This regime is trying to get younger talent because the core of this team is young, right? We got to look at it now. Let's say hypothetically we keep Bergeron. All right, cool. So your young talent on the team that are starters: Chris Matthews, Bergeron, London, Pitts, Bijan, Watts, AJ, uh, Dorless, Harrison, Diablo. Uh, Outside of starters, like I mean, that's pretty much it. Starter wise, anyway. Right. All right. Now, like the GM said and said, um, Caden Ellis was coming off one of his better years, but he was hitting that wall. He was hitting that 30-year wall. Right. All right. Now, how old would Jesse Bates be next offseason? He'll be 30. All right. That's why I said to say it's very likely that we end up trading Jesse Bates because they're trying to get younger. If you trade Jesse Bates before the draft or on draft day, then you got a high value pick. You may get a first, you may get a second. At the least, you can get a high third. That's something you can package up if you want to move up to go get a player, right? But if Jesse stays on this team for the rest of the season, I really don't see us extending him after next offseason. I just don't see that happening. So now Jesse will walk for nothing. Same thing we just did with Caden Ellis. Walk for nothing. But the difference was we got a comp pick for Caden Ellis. Now, if Jesse walks in free agency next offseason, then you have this. Here's the variable. You may be able to get a comp pick, but next offseason we'll have $157 million. So if we bring in a bigger contract than what Jesse signs for, we still won't get a comp pick because they cancel each other out. So what are the presumptive moves? Like long, like long term thinking. What is the better move? Do I get something I can, or I let them stay here? When I mean, I'm not sitting there saying this season is a wash. I'm not gonna sit there and say that. I will say that I don't think that this team is ready for a Super Bowl run. I think we can go to the playoffs and make some noise. Yeah, most definitely. But because of the quarterback situation, fluctuation of it, I don't really think that this team is ready to go to the Super Bowl this year. Now next year, if we can add on the Kings and either Pennis or Tua, either or light it up this year and show that they can helm a actual contender offense to match our defense. Oh yeah, you got 157 million next year. You can iron out all the rest of the wrinkles to put together a Super Bowl team, which also will be around for a couple of years because you're paying them actual contract instead of a 1 year deal. See what I'm saying? Like this year here, this year here is pretty much to amass talent and get them acclimated to the system, this and the third, and you get what you get out of it. You this year is pretty much squeezing all the juice out of the lemon. That what this year is. It's an analytic year. I need to see what I have offensively, defensively, uh, quarterback position, cornerback position, all these spots. I need to see what I have. But outside of that, can we make a run? Yeah, we could. Depending on what we do in the draft, yeah, we most definitely could. Um, do I think that we will make a run this year? This year, I don't know. I don't really see it. I think as is, I think we're good enough to get to the playoff and possibly win a playoff game. I do see that much. I do see that we're capable of doing that. Now, uh, but I mean, like I said, it's in due time. Like that, you have a better view of what we will be able to do after the draft because we got a whole nother wave of free agency that's pretty much cranked up after the draft. Once teams have drafted certain players or whatever, then they want to go ahead jettison off a contract real quick. Second wave of their own free agency. So the team going forever evolve all the way up to hell shit even after training camp. Because after the 53, people still being picked up and stuff. So I mean, like the team is gonna change. It's gonna fluctuate all the way up to the season start. Now, uh, shout out to Blackberry, man. Blackberry got a show going on. Yeah, I was sitting there talking with him on there. He was talking about there's a glimmer of hope for James Fish Jr. And like there is, but not in the not in the scenario that he's painting. Because he's trying to base it off of the Rasheed Rice scenario that he has going on. Pretty much a domestic violence situation um and then they end up finding out that there's not enough information to further pursue it. All right, that's cool. And I mean he already got suspended 6 games or whatever. Like that's cool. Understandable. But you can't compare the two situation. You can't. And I say that because of this, right? Base thought is yes, they both are domestic violence situations. But then you have to look at what level of domestic violence is it, right? Then you have um let me throw this disclaimer out first and foremost. No level of domestic violence is okay at all. Like that shit is not cool. I don't accept it. I don't promote it. None of that. All right. Now, I think Rasheed Rice scenario is it was alleged that he had put his hand on his girlfriend or whatever. Okay. James Pierce situation is entirely different because they've had violent run-ins for years. All right. Even beyond that, they had well, she had broke up with him. She told him leave her the fuck alone. And in no other term, she told him verbatim, leave me the fuck alone. There are text messages that sit there and says this. All right. James took it. She blocked his number. He took it, got another phone or another messaging apparition and continued to try to get in contact with her. She steady told him, leave me the fuck alone. He went to California for an award right before the Super Bowl, and then afterward took and decided to get on a plane, fly from California to Florida to camp outside this woman's house to catch her when she was leaving out the house, to follow her down the road to sit there and try to jump in her car at a stoplight. Then he proceeded to hit her car numerous times, then hit her car again to try to pin her in from going into the police station. Mind you, she already called the police and they came out and met them on the road. Like you can't like and like, the word was that there's no evidence to substantiate the claims or whatever. Here's the thing: there's evidence to substantiate the claim. Yeah, you know that there's evidence to substantiate the claim when you sit there and see that the assault on the officer charge was dropped, but the other charges weren't. They feel that they have enough evidence to move forward on these charges and get a conviction. Otherwise, they would have dropped them down from a felony to a misdemeanor, or they would have dropped the charge completely. They feel there is enough evidence to warrant a conviction. That's just how that like I'm a 3-time felon. That's how law works. Like that's what it is. They will drop smaller charges so they can stick you with the bigger one. Like all right, say you have, let's say that you have a DUI. Let's say you have a DUI, open container, and a failure to yield. They'll drop the open container and they'll drop the failure to yield to smack your ass with the DUI, and then they're gonna push that to the fullest limit. They do this all the time. Like this ain't nothing new. Now, do I think James gonna get jail time? I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know because he's young, and the job that he has, and it's sad to sit there and say that, but that's the truth of the scenario. Do I think he's gonna do some jail time? I mean, it's possible. Like he's still looking at jail time, even with the hitting the officer charge going off. He's still looking. He's still looking at like 20 some years. Can he get some of it? That's possible. It's very very possible. But if they gonna give him jail time, they gonna smack him with jail time. If they gonna go that route, they gonna smack him with jail time. Now, I will say this: um, we'll have a more in depth uh outlook on the scenario come April 23rd, because they go to court. Excuse me. They go to court the day of the draft. So I April 23rd, and that's the last day that they can hear. Or that's the last day that they can sit there and make a plea agreement. So April 23rd, hopefully it may be resolved. If not, they go to trial May 4th. So there's that. Now, like I said, like this was gonna be a little pop up show and all. But another thing, how y'all feel? Have y'all seen the new uniform? I feel a type of way behind it, y'all. Like it started to grow on me. At first, I thought it was bland as hell, but it's starting to grow on me. It's starting to grow on me. Um, the rare look good, and then I think probably the best combination. Well, for one, I need to see a black jersey. That's crazy. That's crazy that they haven't shown a black jersey. But I think a that red jersey, black helmet, red jersey, black pants, red shoes combination. If they do put that together, that gonna be cold. I ain't gonna lie to you. That gonna be cold. Hey, Kurt, that's how I thought. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like that's how I felt at first. When I first saw it, cause like I saw the leak. I saw the leak like I don't know about 2 days before the release, and we sat there and talked about it or whatever, and I was like, well, it's all right. You know what I'm saying? Like the jersey looked pretty much like the color rush jersey, except for like it's a brighter red. And I was like, well, it ain't bad, but it ain't good. You know what I'm saying? Uh, then like that, I'm sorry, like that white jersey don't really do it for me. I'm gonna be honest with you, that white jersey don't really do it for me. It to me it looked too generic. It looked like, and they like, don't get me wrong, like to change your jersey is like for a franchise to change their jersey, it's like a 2+ year process. You gotta file for it with the NFL. They gotta approve it. Then they come with little stipulations, whatever. You gotta adhere to those, and then you start your design, and then you go through the test samples and all that stuff, and woo woo when you're working on the numbers and you're working on the font, and then, you know what I'm saying, you're working on the actual design of the jersey, like on the jersey, like the what is it, the home jersey says Falcon on the front, and the away say Atlanta. Like all that stuff goes into like building the jersey, which is cool. I can respect that. I do like them having Dirty Bird in the inside collar of the jersey. I do like that. But I mean, like, I don't know, like shit look too generic, man. To me, it looked generic. But like the red is starting to grow, and now I'm sitting there seeing like what it could be. Now, if they put it together, all right, cool. If they don't, I'm just looking forward to the throwback jerseys when they come out. And they did say, I know a lot of people looking for the red helmet. Um, but they said that they was going to include the red helmet, but they said they want to keep the throwback uniform special and isolated away from the regular uniform. So when they want to pull it out, it's on special occasion. So I can respect that. I can respect that. But I mean, like, to be honest, hell, I'd have been cool if they brought back the silver pants. If they brought back the silver pants, I'd have been cool with it. It's just like I don't know, like it is what it is. It is what it is. Like the pants started growing. Like when you look at the profile look of the uniform, it looks better. Um, the head up look of it, it's I guess I I don't know. I think it'll come down to the players actually having the uniform on and putting a personal touch to it. Their own little swag, whether they put it like, like an arm sleeve or put on the red cleats or whatever, whatever. I think that would bring the uniform itself out more. But as is, Craig Air Force says the Silver fans would have made them look right. Uh, with the red, with the red jersey, exactly. Like I don't know. Could Matt Ryan say no, sir? Yeah, I approve of. I approve of. But like I don't know. Like I get it. I understand the premise of why you came out with a new uniform because you're trying to rebrand the team. Because hell, just keep it a band. The team been marred by losses. You have what 9 straight losing seasons. You have to turn the leaf over, and that's another reason why Raheem has got fired. If Raheem had won one more game last year, he'd probably be the head coach this year. But I can't sit there and bring a head coach that had 2 losing seasons into a new, basically a brand new rebranding of the team. But no, I can't do that. That doesn't even make sense. So I get it, but I mean at the same time, like when you go to that extreme of a move to basically sit there and say, well, we're going to be better and this is going to be a new slate for us or whatever, you got to get it done. You got to get it done. You got to think about it. Like hell, we did the same shit. We did the same shit. Um, when when we won the Super Bowl, the year after the Super Bowl, we opened up the band. You still ain't had a playoff game there yet. Think about how many college playoff games and soccer playoff games that came through the band. But the actual team that owns the band haven't had a playoff game there yet. Come on, Bert. Like I get it. I get it, guy. You want to change the leaf on the bad times in history? I get it, but mm, I put it to you like this: even though even though the color red is synonymous with Atlanta, um, I think fans, I think fans in consensus wise would gravitate more towards a black jersey of the Falcon than than a red jersey of the Falcon. And that red jersey has a lot of different undertones that have to, they come to play. But I mean, it is what it is, though. I mean, if we win in it, that's all I care about. We could have the ugliest jersey in the world. If we go win, I don't give a fuck how you look. How do you look on the field? That's all I care about. Like your wardrobe. That shit don't mean shit to me. That's all I want. I just want us to win. Just win, baby, win. Like Al Davis say. You know what I mean, but it was something else. What else happened? Something else happened. You know what I'm saying?